Yo, what's up everybody? I'm here on top of Warsaw, Poland right now to bring you a very important topic, one that people might not even think about, but that is extreme ownership. Ownership over your successes as well as your failures, and why those are both extremely important. It's important because it's very easy to fall into the victim mentality, that things are not your responsibility, that things are not in your control or whatever. And maybe that's right for a lot of things, but what I'm sort of pushing here is the idea that it's in your best interest to look for the ways in which you are responsible, so that you can be more relaxed overall and sort of be a little more free. And the reason is, if you look at, say for example, if you did something really well and you have somebody say, oh hey, look, you did a great job on the test, oh look, you did a great job in that game, and you're somebody who's going to say, oh no, that's not me, or yeah I did, but the game was too easy, the team wasn't as good, or the test was easy, the teacher wrote a bad test, so I destroyed it. All of those are ways of sort of taking the responsibility of doing well off of you and putting it in someone else, on someone else. And what that does is devalues you. It devalues your achievement. It takes away from what you've done, and it takes away from your process too. You're devaluing all the work that it took for you to get there, and that's a problem, because if you're not acknowledging your successes, are you really succeeding? Like, are you really enjoying that journey of the success there? On the other hand, right, if you fail and stuff, you say, oh, let's say you forgot your keys in the car. Let's say, in my case, I'll get to that in a second, I left my bag in the airport, which I'll explain in a second. I could blame the airline, I could blame this, or I could blame that, or you could blame your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend for leaving this or that in the car, the papers that you needed for the meeting, something like that. When you take a second and you put that on someone else, you lose the responsibility of that, and you also deprive yourself of an opportunity to grow and move through that discomfort. So that's why it's important for you to, at least for me, again, this is not just everyone, this is also to me as well. It's important to look for the ways in which you are the one who is responsible. If you offload the responsibility on top of things like, oh, it's the airport's fault that my bag is still there. It's like, okay, but now I get to sit here in this, which some people really enjoy doing, sit there in this angry tension for, basically just for suffering for no real good reason, purely because I've decided to do that, which isn't really fun for anybody, including the person who's suffering. In my case, so I thought the airline left my bag in the connection area. Turns out they didn't. The conveyor belt wasn't working. I assumed that it hadn't come out yet. There was no one else waiting, which is really weird. I've never come out of a plane first and had no one else waiting. Maybe 3 other people were waiting for a bag. They also had the same issue. So I went to the guy who was working there and I said, hey, my bag's missing. Can you help me? And he said, yeah, sure. And he said, oh, well, we'll mail it to you. Could your hustle? I said, oh, that's great, because it's stuck in the halfway point, right? Turns out it wasn't. It was actually behind, like, the conveyor belt somehow. I just didn't look, I guess. I just didn't see it. My excuse was, well, the thing changed, so I didn't see it. Now, I can sit here and blame the airline all I want, or I can think about ways in which that I was responsible. And the reason that there's power in that is because when I take full responsibility, instead of sitting there, I remember sitting there on the bus, sitting there being angry, oh, this shouldn't happen, this shouldn't happen. Well, it did, right? And this goes back to the letting go and allowing things to happen to you, to a degree, instead of resisting what did happen, especially in the past tense, because you can't change anything in the past yet, right? Ultimately, by relaxing and letting go and allowing those things to hit me, I was able to feel a lot better, and yeah, ultimately, there was a lot less resistance. I felt a lot more free. But yeah, so that's pretty much it here for Warsaw, Poland, and I'm going to crack out of here, and I will see you guys